Good morning, and welcome to our weekly Bible study. Um, my plan is that I'm going to start having these downloaded on Wednesday, as today. Uh, now the church is back in full swing, or what is now considered full swing. Sunday afternoons and Monday mornings wind up being kind of busy around here, so this gives me a little more time to do the actual reading and also get my thoughts together and just not have everything kind of coming together all on the same days. So anyway, my goal is that we will have these chats together on Wednesday, and so you can kind of look forward to that hopefully. Now, uh, also, what I'm thinking we're going to do for the next little bit anyway is kind of look at systematic theology. Now, systematic theology is usually one person's concept about everything theological. And once again, the word theology means thinking about God. Theos or theo is the word for God, and ology is the study of or the love of. So the love of God, the study of God. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to, for an unspecified amount of time, we're going to look at theology, God, what that means in the 21st century. Well, how does that play out in the past? How does it play out today? And how will it play out into the future? And a lot of this is speculation. And the reality is systematic theology can only be the systematic theology of one person. You can study Spurgeon, you can study Augustine, you can study Aquinas, you can study anyone you want, but their theology is only going to mainly work for them. Now, other people may agree with them on most parts, but there's never going to be complete and total understanding or agreement. Uh, this is part of what happened at the Reformation. You had Zwingli, you had Luther, you had Calvin, and they agreed on a lot of things, but they didn't agree on everything. And so that's why we wound up with all the different branches that we now have. And we're finding now in today's world, especially, that there's even more branching off as everybody can do their own research, everybody can have their own thoughts, and we really don't tend to have experts. Yes, I'm a minister. Yes, I am the spiritual leader of a community. But they don't have any problem saying, hey, I don't agree with that, or that's not how I understand that. And that's how growth occurs, is when we take our concepts and we then bounce them off of the concepts of others. So, my idea is that we will just kind of meander around, leisurely taking our time into this new realm. It could take us a couple of weeks. I may get tired of it and decide to move on. You guys may leave comments saying, why don't you do something better? Whatever that may be. Or it could take us the rest of our lives. That is the whole point of theology. And there's an interesting story about Martin Luther. As you remember, the Pope and the Catholic Church ordered that he recant all that he had said. And Martin Luther said, here I stand, I cannot do that. And that was an interesting watershed moment. But one of the things Martin Luther was trying to say is, look, there's a lot of things I said back then that I meant back then, but now that I've had time to think about it, now that I've had time to grow, now that I've had time to evolve, I don't believe that anymore. So there were some of the topics that they wanted him to recant. He'd have been more than happy to recant, but not everything. That's how our theology all works in all of our lives. We all have a place where we are today. And when we talk about our theology, it's a snapshot of that moment. It's not the theology we had a few years ago. It's not going to be the theology we have in another few years. It is a snapshot of who we are today. There are any number of times, such as, for example, the afterlife. It depends on what day it is and what kind of week I've had, what my thoughts are concerning the afterlife. Sometimes I may be very optimistic. Some days I may be very pessimistic. There's times when I see something in the newspaper or on the internet where I really kind of hope that my Catholic brothers and sisters have it right and that there's at least a purgatory, because it doesn't seem right that someone would be able to do this crime and then get off scot free. It seems like there should be some kind of punishment. Other times when I've had a rotten day, I'm pretty glad that I believe that God forgives all my sins. Um, so it's a struggle. But the best way for us to grow is to share our thoughts, and hopefully, this will definitely be a dialogue where I bring up a topic and make some discussion, and then through the comments we can maybe help one another grow in our thoughts and our beliefs. Now, once again, with this being on YouTube, it has the potential of reaching a lot of different people in a lot of different mindsets and a lot of different theological backgrounds, a lot of different religions. And we need to hear what everyone has to say. Doesn't mean we have to agree, doesn't mean we have to understand things in the same way. There's going to be a Western mindset, there's going to be an Eastern mindset, there's going to be uh, a male perspective, a female perspective. One of the things that's come up here in the United States recently is the fact that the statement that Jesus is not white. Well, of course, Jesus isn't white. Jesus wasn't black. Jesus was a Mediterranean uh, resident of the Middle East. He had black hair. He had a black beard. He had brown eyes, most likely. But the thing is we all see God kind of as ourselves. That's what makes God relatable. Uh, Once again, one of the great things you can find if you go shopping into a Christmas store near the holidays is you can find a Chinese Santa, you can find an African American Santa, you can find all these different things because we take these big concepts and we try to put them in something that's relatable to us. Doesn't mean that we're right, doesn't mean we're wrong. It means that we're trying to take a bigger concept and make it swallow, something we can swallow. And so that's part of what we're going to try to do here too. We're going to try to look at time in different ways. We're going to try to look at salvation in different ways. We're going to try to look at Jesus in different ways. And as we do that, hopefully our growth and our understanding and our community will develop and grow and become something that we can all be proud of. So I look forward to seeing you next week with our first topic. Have a good day.